Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am Lauren Weinberg. I'm a board certified health and wellness coach specializing in empowerment and holistic well being.
Hi, and I'm Melanie McLeod. I'm a certified empowerment coach specializing in life and business coaching. And welcome to our debut show of Talking Transformation Live.
Where we will be having real talk in real time for real people. And as Melanie said, it's our first show, and we couldn't be more thrilled about that. And we welcome, if you're here, please drop us a comment with your name so we can see who's joining us because we can't see you.
Absolutely. So it's important that this is a show for all of us. So as we're chatting away, please feel free to jump in with your comments or questions and also suggestions for additional topics that might be interesting to you as we move forward each week with our show. So how did this all get started? Lauren and I, we've had lots of conversations about what is transforming, and especially after this pandemic, most of us and many of us have had to transform. For me, I used to go to my clients, and now that's changing, and I'm having to kind of reinvent some of my services that I do. And so transforming does change us, and we have to figure out how to navigate this new norm.
Yeah, and we are going to continue talking about this, but I just want to say hello to Susan
Oh,
is
yes.
here
Hi,
and Ruth
guys.
is here. So we're so happy to see you guys, and we will do our best to keep an eye on the chat. So as Melanie said, feel free to comment. I know both of these women are, wonder have amazing ideas to share, and so I can't wait to hear how they're going to contribute to the conversation. But yeah, we're just hoping to create this space to bring everybody in together and to talk about, today we'll talk about transforming and what that looks like and what that's been looking like for everybody since the pandemic. But really, all the topics related to change, to transformational change in all of our lives. I know that when Melanie and I first started having these conversations, they seemed so valuable to me because I would learn from Melanie during each conversation and I would learn things about myself. And that's what we thought was so exciting and why other people would love to just hear that, to know that it's true for everybody. Even people who do this work for a living help people find transformation in their life, right? The deep changes that really make your life better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I found many times with clients that if I would say, oh yeah, that sometimes gets me a little down. They're like, you get down? I'm like, yeah, I'm a human being too. And so many times I think the people look at folks and they don't think that they have any fear. And I tell folks, if you wait until the fear is gone, you're never going to do it because we all have fear. It's what you choose to do with it. And I always say, take that fear, throw it back seat. You can look up at it every once in a while, but take it with you. Don't let it drive you. You drive it.
That's right. I love that saying. And please join us every week because you will get Melanieisms. They're awesome. So throw fear in the back seat and take it for a ride. That's one of my favorites. Um, you know, just, along that theme, Melanie, this whole situation of doing a live show brought up a lot of fear for us. I mean, this is something that we're coming to a little further down the road than maybe some other people. And we had a lot of skills, a lot of things that we had to do to get up to speed with that. But it's part of that transformation, right? It's part of welcoming that
Yes.
change into your life. And I often feel like, well, I always say that growth happens at the edges of your comfort zone, right? So that's where you start to feel the fear, right at the edge of your comfort zone. But that's also where growth happens. So it's just a process of becoming comfortable with the discomfort. Um, and Judith is here as well. That's terrific. Um, and Susan loves your Melanieisms. Um, so, I it took a lot for us. It's really at the edges of our comfort zones to be here. And that harkens back to transformation that's happened in our lives in all kinds of ways, right? So, I mean, think about that. Like, when have you guys, like, has anybody experienced pushing through that fear in order to welcome transformation?
Yeah, I would love to hear from anybody who wants to jump in. I think that one of the things that we think is that a lot, no one. Uh, it looks easy. Things look easy for people, and as Lauren had mentioned, for me, I was used to be in technology years ago, but it's completely different now. And I know I hear a lot from my clients and friends that the whole social media and navigating all this new technology, and there's not classes like we were used to being able to sign up for. There's videos, and there's just the way things are explained is so different. And so now we have to all come out of our comfort zones. And how does that feel for some of you guys, knowing that we need to come out of our comfort zone? Anybody have any comments about that?
And we will
Melanie.
keep an eye, we'll keep an eye on that chat. But I know for me, so I was a psychologist for several years, and then I was home. I was home for a long time. I was home for 20 years. And talk about the edge of your comfort zone. And when I decided to go back and retrain as a coach, I was in a class of about 50 people, and I got to go there in person, which was incredible. It was a year-long process, really. But I was one of just a couple of people out of those 50 who, were over 50, and most people were doing this as a first career, and they were fresh out of school, and the learning, it was all familiar territory for them. Having to step into that world was hugely outside my comfort zone, but it created transformation in me that I never could have anticipated. And that's the point. When
Yeah.
you open the door to change, first of all, you just never know what's coming, but you never know the breadth and the depth of the good things that can happen. Becoming a coach has changed my life in immeasurable ways. The way that I show up, the energy that I exude, it's all different. And it all comes from that self reflection and that awareness that we do understand as coaches. But it was missing. I never had that in my life before this.
Yes, and we've had a little bit of sharing going on here too. So we have talking about the first Facebook Live being totally frightening, and for me, I always say that the day that I'm not afraid or that I don't have any nerves is the day I quit, because having those nerves means I care and I want to do a good job. So it's really okay. I feel that gives us a little bit of energy. I've seen folks that weren't scared at all and they talked to monotone and I was about to fall asleep. So I think that having those nerves, it gives us a little bit more energy. Some other comments that are in the chat about technology, and I find it freeing when I face my fear and push through it. Most do not like to do that. That is a great comment, Lisa. It's absolutely true. You have to push through it. You got to go through it to get to it.
Two Melanieisms in one show. Whoa! Appropriate for our first show. You got to go through it to get to it. I just want to give a shout out to Lisa. Lisa also said that when she was 50, she quit her job and uprooted herself and her son and moved here. And it turned out to be one of the greatest things that she did. And
Yes.
that's the point. It's when you push through the fear, you never know what's on the other side. And I love that expression that says the only thing standing between you and what you want is what you're willing to do. Right? So, like, pushing through that fear, opening your heart, opening your life to possibility, that's where transformation happens.
Absolutely. We have some great comments in the chat. And 60 plus moved to Houston by herself, knowing no one for a job. Yeah, that's awesome. And I too did the same thing. I came here um, to from Pittsburgh to Philadelphia by myself. I had a young son. I was a single mom, and I had to relocate and find childcare and everything from scratch without having the support of family. So brave, brave, brave. Kudos to you, Judith and Lisa, for those things. They're
Yeah.
commendable, commendable, and it takes courage. And that's one of the things that we talk about in terms of transforming. What are some of those key words that you need to incorporate into your life and into your spirit to be able to know that you have what it takes to make whatever you want happen?
Yeah, you bring up a great point, Melanie, because what you're talking about is what do you value, right? So if you are someone who values growth, it takes courage to push through for that growth, right? So that can become one of your values that you actually label for yourself, that you build the awareness around. I see that Judith said she loves how Brene Brown talks about changing the name from fear to excitement. They are two sides of the same coin. And there's a mindset thing, and we will talk about that. We'll spend a lot of time talking about mindset as we go through our Talking Transformation Live. But it's two sides of the same coin, and it depends which side you want to look at, right? You can look at it as fear, or you can look at it as excitement, right? When you want to hold on to what is, then that looks like fear. But when you're open to seeing, to discovering the possibilities, that becomes excitement.
Absolutely. Change is, I think, is the biggest thing. And unfortunately, some people will stay in situations that are not good just because they're familiar. And so it's really about being able to say that, if I want to improve, I have to be able to be uncomfortable because the growth is in the uncomfortableness.
The growth is in the discomfort for sure. And that is, I think, if we're going to label the name, if we're going to name this show, I think that that's what we'd say, that the transformation like lives in the discomfort. And, that's just, it's about build, like we said, it's about building that awareness for what it is that you want in your life, what could make your life better, and then setting the intention to go after it. So if it's courage, it's curiosity, right? Waking up that mind to what's possible and getting curious about our lives. What could make it better?
Yes,
What might our life look like, right? If we open ourselves up to the possibility for change, push through the discomfort, and start to build the awareness and the intention to create the moments in our life to be what we want them to be.
absolutely. So that basically is what we're going to do each week. We are going to start to wrap up if some of people want to throw some comments in there. But we want to get some suggestions too. Each week we can talk forever. Lauren and I can talk for hours. So sometimes you're going to have to jump in just to shut us up. But we really do want you all to feel a part of this experience, to really be a part of the topics, to really be a part of the conversation, because I think it's a wonderful opportunity for all of us to be able to talk about some of those things that we think about when we wonder, am I the only one thinking that? And I absolutely assure you, you're not.
You never are. And that's the whole point of creating this space, that we are all in it together. Um, so we hope to see you back here again next week. We will be here every week, live at 5 for Talking Transformation Live. Please subscribe. Um, Remember to come, show up, and use it as time to ask yourself those questions. Whatever the theme is that week, turn it around and reflect. It's an opportunity to reflect on what that means for you in your life. So I leave you like this week, right? We leave you with the thought of, what does transformation look like for
For
you?
you. What does transformation look like for you? That is the question of the week. And we really look forward to all of you joining us each week. And when you can't join us live, then please listen to our playbacks on our YouTube channel. And again, as Lauren said, please subscribe and feel free to reach out to us anytime on Talking Transfer. Our email is talkingtransformationlive@gmail.com. And we also have our own websites that you're always welcome to reach out to us and join us where some of our workshops, seminars, group coaching, and individual coaching sessions.
Thank,
Again, thank you guys.
thank you so much for being here, and we'll see you next week.
Okay.